My name is Dr. Becky Peacock and I am the Project Supervisor of the Canadian Pacific Project. In terms of my day-to-day procedure here on the railway, it's to manage the Canadian Pacific Project, so I have to manage the restoration of Merchant Navy class locomotive Canadian Pacific. The Mid Hants Railway runs lots of different events, so Thomas the Tank Engine is always a big one with a railway, you've got to do Thomas. And so we do things like that for the younger audience. The preservation of this railway is truly down to the volunteers that we have. Currently we have just over 450 volunteers, and without those volunteers this railway wouldn't run, and they are truly our heroes as staff.
My name is Derek Simmons. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Mid Hants Railway Preservation Society. The aims of the Mid Hants Railway Preservation Society are to preserve, operate and exhibit for public benefit all kinds of railway vehicles, equipment, and to support railway preservation. The Society's role is far-ranging. We try and raise revenue, raise money for the railway. We support volunteers. We try and publicise the railway, publicise interest in the railway. It's a very wide-ranging supporting policy. To be here beyond my days is my ambition. The railway has been going since 1974. We would like to think that it will be going in 2074. It's about maintaining interest, getting people coming here, giving people a good day out and persuading them to give us money so we can carry on operating. I'd like to think the railway will be preserved for 50, 100 years. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. A lot of the equipment is getting old and needs a lot of work doing to it, but there's no reason why it shouldn't carry on indefinitely. Probably the major factor is volunteers. The railway has something like 450 volunteers who keep the railway operating. A lot of those people are in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. So we need to replace those people as they are no longer able to support the railway. In 30 years' time, are people going to have disposable time as they have now? I don't know.
There are lots of different people that keep this railway running. As a business, we have to have people like marketing who promote the railway. We have people who deal with the reservations and bookings. We have an education officer who deals with schools. In terms of also the business side, we also have staff here at Lopley who work in the engineering facilities. So they really oversee the restoration of our locomotives by volunteers.
My name is Alfie and I am a machinist at the Mid Hants Railway. My role entails machining any parts that may be required for the engines that are running or during overhaul. Well, I've always had an interest in railways from a young age, and I wanted a job in engineering, so it's kind of the perfect job for me. I wouldn't really say there's a typical working day because there's such a varied type of work in the machine shop. One day I could be turning buffers and the next day I could be turning up like pipe fitting, so I think most of it's just a typical day would be turning and milling. I think the most vital thing to keep the railway running is the volunteers. I know I'm paid staff, but without the volunteers we couldn't do the jobs we do and the railway wouldn't run.
But mainly it's the volunteers. They greatly outnumber the staff and they are the reason that we are able to run a service.
Well, my name's Peter Reynolds and I'm a volunteer here at the Mid Hants Railway. I clean out the fireboxes of the engines. They've been working at the weekend, so they were very, very hot. But it's a thoroughly enjoyable and satisfying sort of job. How long would the railway last is obviously very difficult to answer, but all I can say is at the moment the visitor numbers are increasing quite dramatically. We can always keep steam engines going just that little bit longer, so as long as the visitors keep on coming, we can keep on going.
In comparison today, the railway was a business. Initially it was 17 miles of railway that joined into a whole national network. So you could have got from Winchester all the way to London Waterloo, and that was the purpose. The future of the railway is really for us to grow from strength to strength. The major factor in keeping this railway running will always be about generating an income. The more people that support us, the more readily we're able to do what we do for everyone else.